welcome to Richard's Comics. On today's episode, I have a special guest. My mom is here visiting from out of town. Mom, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us about what you like about comics and maybe who your favorite character is.
Yes. I really enjoyed comics as a child. And when my son started comics, it was a great way to supplement reading skills. And it's turned out to be a great hobby.
Thank you. I also wanted to thank my daughter Eleanor for filming for us today. So let's go ahead and get started on the books. The first book we have up is Action Comics, number 797. This book is published back in 1994. This is part 3 of the Bizarro's World storyline. Okay, our next book.
The Adventures of Superman 431.
So Adventure Superman 431, this was published in August of 1987. I think most of us know, but just as a refresher, Adventures of Superman was retitled from the main Superman title after Crisis on Infinite Earths. So this is a nice story here showing Superman crushing a firearm.
The next one is The Adventures of Superman 450.
So Adventures of Superman 450, this is the aftermath of the Invasion crossover that was running through DC at the time. Next up.
And we have Animal Man 18.
So Animal Man 18, I actually got most of these books for $1 at the local comic book store. Really solid cover here of Animal Man. I believe this is still part of the Alan Moore run, but I could be mistaken. So this is volume 1 that started back in the 80s.
Next up, we have Legends of the Dark Knight, number 46.
So Legends of the Dark Knight, Batman Legends Dark Knight number 46. Really nice Batman Catwoman cover going up against this latest vigilante.
And we have Shadow of the Bat, the God of Fear, number 16.
Thank you. So Batman Shadow Bat number 16. This is part of the Nightfall storyline that led into Batman getting his bat broken by Bane.
Next, Batman Shadow of the Bat, number 55.
Thank you. So issue 55. This here you can see is a newsstand variant. Not really a variant. It really was just it just means it wasn't sold to a comic book store for those who don't know what newsstand is.
We have The Darkness 31.
So this is Darkness number 31. This is really a straight up cover buy. Really solid art. This is, as most of you probably know, this is from Top Cow, imprint underneath Image. Not quite as popular as Witchblade, but still a very popular title.
And we have Detective Comics 603.
So this is another newsstand. Detective Comics 603, guest starring Etrigan the Demon.
Green Arrow, number 41.
Thank you. So this is Green Arrow 41. This is a really solid volume of Green Arrow. I believe the original story arc was Quiver, that was published by Mark Waid, but this is later on in the run. This is from the early 2000s, so I guess this is about 20 years old at this point.
Next is Green Arrow Under Siege, number 42.
Next issue, Green Arrow number 42.
And we have the Green Lantern Corps 217.
Green Lantern Corps 217, the direct edition. Nice Sinestro cover. This was when they retitled the Green Arrow series Green Lantern Corps. Green Lantern series as Green Lantern Corps.
This is Hallows Eve, number 1.
Thank you. This is Hallows Eve number 1. This is the Art Germ variant cover. This is the only new book in today's haul. For those who don't know Hallows Eve, her first appearance was recently in the Dark Web crossover storyline.
We have Ultraverse Mantra, number 1.
Thank you. So Mantra, this is from the Malibu Comics that was printed in the early 90s. with companies like Image and Valiant having success. We also saw some success also from Malibu with their Ultraverse line. Some other popular titles besides Mantra include things like Sludge, Hardcore, and Prime, and Prototype.
Love this cover. Marvel Age 54.
Thank you. So this is Marvel Age 54 from 1987. This is kind of the preview of the upcoming wedding of Peter Parker and Mary Jane.
The Avengers 18.
So this has got a preview for the Avengers, Marvel's free previews, number 18. This is previewing the comics coming out of May of 2023. And as Mom was saying, this is one of the big issues coming out. It's going to be the relaunched Avengers title.
Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man, number 262.
Thank you. So we got a few Marvel's Tales. This is the first one. I believe this is actually a Sam Keith cover. He's famous also for doing the Max. This is actually a reprint of a Marvel team-up. Most of the Marvel Tales are actually reprints of previous Spider-Man, but they do have some other ones like these Marvel team-ups.
Next, Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man 265.
Thank you. So this is Marvel Tales 265. This reprints the second part of Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 6, which originally Spider-Man ends up going after Red Skull because there's been allegations against Richard and Mary Parker that they were actually spies. And so Spider-Man has gone to clear his parents' name, and he is crosses paths with the Red Skull. It's a good read. It's reprinted in Marvel Tales. They also have a reprint of the Annual from the early 90s as well. So I definitely recommend checking it out.
Next is Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man 266.
Thanks. So this is a reprint of Amazing Spider-Man number 252. That's the real famous cover that is actually a homage to Amazing Fantasy 15. This is a lot cheaper alternative versus getting Amazing Spider-Man 252, which we all know is the first appearance of the black suit.
Next we have Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man 267.
So 267, we've got a nice Spider-Man and then the rose in the background. The good thing about this, even though these are reprints, they have some really good cover art that they've done for these stories. So if you're looking for reader copies or just a cheaper alternative to the main Amazing Spider-Man story, definitely check out Marvel Tales.
Next is Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man 276.
Thank you. Again, another reprint, Marvel Tales, but all of these have very solid, very sharp colors, and this volume was published during the early 90s, so we get a good refresh of the Amazing Spider-Man stories at that time with new covers.
Next is Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man 291.
Thank you. So this is, I believe, a reprint of Amazing Spider-Man 283, an Absorbiman story, and also a Titania. This is kind of a callback to Marvel's Secret Wars, where Spider-Man crossed paths with these characters.
We have the New
Mutants.
Mutants, number 100.
So this is the first appearance of X-Force. This is also where they reveal that Strife is a clone of Cable, and immediately New Mutants is relaunched as X-Force in 1991.
One of my favorites of all, Star Trek, The Next Generation, number 49.
So this is the direct edition, Worf being shot by a Borg. This is really a straight up cover buy because the Borg are probably some of my favorite villains in all of Star Trek. So to see him on the cover, unfortunately, Worf looks like he doesn't come out too well in this book.
This one is Supreme, number 6.
Thank you. So this is Supreme Volume 1, number 6. Supreme is pretty much Image's Superman character. This is from the early 90s, not too long after the Image founding people, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, and the rest of them founded their own company. So this is kind of Image's take on Superman.
And we have Supreme, number 8.
So this is an interesting issue. So you see Supreme, we already talked about, he's kind of not a parody, but just a different version of Superman. And we kind of see a version of Thor here, even with the Mjolnir. So if you wanted to see kind of a Superman versus Thor, you're not going to get it from Marvel anytime soon. So maybe check this one out.
Team Youngblood, number 9.
Team Youngblood, number 9. So Rob Liefeld. This is actually when Rob Liefeld, he did the first several issues of Team Youngblood, and then he left this series for a number of months. This is where he actually came back to the series. And I believe we have one more.
Yes, this is the last one in this haul, and it's called
Wildcats.
Wildcats Convert Action, and number 44.
Thank you. So this is Wildcats, number 44. This is after Jim Lee is no longer with the book. This volume ran up to 50 issues. I believe this is from 1996. I believe that later on, Wildstorm, which was Jim Lee's studio, it was bought later on by DC and became a DC imprint. And so currently, there's actually a new volume of Wildcats being published by DC. I haven't read it yet. It looks interesting, but I only have time to read so many books. Okay, well, want to thank my mom for guest starring today, and again, want to thank my daughter Eleanor for filming us. And remember, buy what you like, read what you like, and have a good day.